Pittsburgh comic book expert here, also known as PGH Comic Expert. You can even find me on the comicbookrealm.com as PGH Comic Expert 42, because that is 42 is the answer to all things. So this is a contest video here. I'm feeling a little better today. Yes, last night when I shot a video, it was under the weather. I didn't get to shoot it. So I think for the Comic Fool and Eddie the Comics Guy, I think I'm past the deadline, but I'm okay with that. I just want to help out and support your channels. So we'll get started. And I think I've got entries for the Comicbookjunkie as well as MercWith AMouth. So let's start with the Comic Fool. You wanted to know our names. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again today. My name is Brian. With a Y, not to be confused with Brian with an I. Just to let you know a little bit more about me, I work in the information security field. Basically, I'm an engineer, so the comic thing is more or less a hobby. That being said, before I actually officially enter your video, I did want to show something off. I didn't have a chance to put a bag on it. But being that I work in the information security industry, we actually had one of these on our coffee table in the lobby, and this is was Pittsburgh's. It's like Pittsburgh Security Magazine, and I thought it was a pretty cool cover swipe of the Appetite for Destruction album. I know there's a couple of comics out there that took a swipe of it too, but I thought that was neat. It's worthy enough for me to take it home, and I read the magazine through some of the articles, and I'm gonna throw it in a bag and board and throw it in my magazine stash. So anyway, yeah, I did want to show that off. I thought that was pretty cool. I wish all I had to do was comic stuff all day, trust me. Okay, so you wanted to know what one of my favorite covers was. This is probably my favorite. I have two copies of it. This one in another one that's a little higher grade that's not signed. I've got so many copies of cover swipes for this book that it's crazy. So I even went on a binge, and I actually had 6 copies of this book at one point in time. Now I'm down to 2. So that is my entry. That's my favorite cover. It's just always been a big fan of McFarlane, and I've always been a fan of the Gray Hulk, and this is kind of the best of both worlds here. Okay, moving on to Eddie the Comics Guy. So you wanted to know a favorite Batman or Superman story arc. There is my favorite Batman story. That is The Killing Joke, as you are all aware. That is the issue where Barbara Gordon gets shot by the Joker. And since I have that one slabbed, that's actually at a 9.6. I do have another copy that I purchased to read, and that's actually a pretty good buy if anybody is out in the market for that. There's a weird story in the background of this one. Thank you, PGH Jr. Please get out of the video. There's actually a backstory. It's like, what if Batman were killed just randomly? And it just kind of goes through, and if nobody was around to hear it. So I thought that was neat too. So anyway, that is my entry into Eddie the Comics Guy. Pardon my son, who's obsessed with putting his face in the camera. Okay, let's do MercWith AMouth. Let's see, you had wanted to know favorite Silver Age hero as well as Modern Age. So favorite Silver Age, I have to say, it's going to be Silver Surfer. Definitely was a big fan of the Silver Surfer. I liked him in the Modern Age too, but I liked how he was drawn specifically back then. I've got the other 2 books to accompany that. Got number 49 and number 48. So yeah, Silver Surfer was definitely, and the Fantastic Four too. I mean, just about anything Jack Kirby in the Silver Age I was a fan of. But yeah, definitely the Surfer was it. I couldn't get to my copy of Submariner #1 or some of my early Iron Man and Submariner #1. But I do really like the Submariner, at least back then in the Silver Age, and I just couldn't get to it to show it to you. But I agree, that's some pretty great artwork there. I've been looking to get the key issues for him as well. Alright, so that's my favorite Silver Age. You wanted to know my favorite modern. Let me get it for you. So, modern age, it's like Copper Age going into modern. It's what I really enjoy reading. I read the whole Alan Moore run of it. I have to say it would be Miracle Man. It's just a dark story, and Miracle Man is a pretty powerful hero. I mean, he's kind of like Shazam, or, you know, they even used to call him Marvel Man back in Britain. So that is it for MercWith AMouth. Let's see. Although I do like Deadpool despite myself. I didn't like him for a long time, and then I watched the movie, and now I like him. Alright, this is a nice segue into the Comic Book Junkies villains covers, or villain first appearances. So that's not a first appearance of Kid Miracle Man, but that is certainly his death issue. I've got that, and I've got a graded copy as well. Fortunately, John Totalben will be appearing at the next con, so I've got a handful of books for him to sign. However, there's no grading authority at this con, I think I discovered, so it's just going to be a raw book signed by him, which is fine, because I might only get 1 or 2, especially since the guy, you know, he can't really see that well. But definitely the best out of the Miracle Man stories written by Alan Moore. This is the best one. 14 and 15. 14 leads to the actions in 15. Alright. So, speaking of villains, first appearance of Boba Fett. Yes, that precedes the Star Wars issue, single issue. Also, you can't go wrong with the Darth Vader on the cover, painted cover. Can't talk about villains without talking about Freddy Krueger. I think that's his first ever comic appearance there. And if we're going to talk modern villains, let's talk the Governor. And then let's talk a little Negan. And then Negan again. He's real popular, obviously, right now. And if we're going to go a little old school, let's do the first appearance of Venom. Full appearance. Sabretooth. Love that cover, too. Let's see. Deathstroke. Darkseid. Poison Ivy. And Silver Age Scarecrow, who happens to be my favorite Batman villain. So there you have it. I opened up the vault to get some of these out of here to show. But yeah, those are some pretty cool villain covers. The late great Carmine Infantino, I believe, did the pencils on the Batman books. And he was basically the Jack Kirby. Well, I don't want to say the Jack Kirby of DC, because Kirby worked for DC. More like the Stan Lee or the John Romita. Infantino was huge in DC. So anyway, that is my video. Those are my contest entries. Like I said, I might be late on a couple of them, but like I said, I'm not in it so much for the prizes as to support the channels and help get your guys' name out there. I certainly appreciated it when everybody joined my contest as well, or whoever all did. All right, that is PGH Jr. again. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Looking forward to the comments. Peace.